Very good morning to all of you, my dear friends. This is Shafiq Ahmed, and you're all welcome to your favorite YouTube channel. Let's learn together. So, my students, I have come up with today over here the latest map of India. You can see here. In the latest map of India, there are some changes that you can see over here. That this part that I am showing with the help of this my device, that this part has been divided into two, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. So in our chapter, we are going to learn about Ladakh, the new one, and we are again going to learn about this part of Kerala. You can see over here. This is very beautiful state, but you can see if you will compare it with Tamil Nadu or Bangalore, you can see Karnataka over there, then you will see that it is a very short part of land. It is very, very narrow. It is not wide. It is just narrow strip, means it is a narrow strip or narrow part of land, which is also the part of India. It is also one of the state of India. So we are going to learn a lot of details about this state, Kerala, and the other state over here, that is Ladakh. Okay, so let us start with our Kerala first. You can see which Arabian Sea is there. Na? So you can see over here Arabian Sea, and it is between the Western Ghat. So Western Ghat is not shown in the map because it is a political state map of India, na? Political map of India. So still we can see Arabian Sea over here. Na? So this Kerala is quite closer to the sea, Arabian Sea. Na? You can see over here that it is quite closer. So the people of the Kerala would be getting a lot of fishes. They can do fishing because it is just nearest or closest to the Arabian Sea. Even the people of, you can say, Goa also, you know that Goa is very famous for its beaches. So likewise, Kerala is also very famous for its beaches also, and even a lot of fish, even coconut trees are found in Kerala. So let us start studying in detail about the Kerala. So here comes, we are going to start studying about getting details about Kerala. So it is written clearly, see here, that Kerala is a state in the southwest corner of India, that I showed you in the map also, that is in the south and it is in the west also. So it is in the southwest corner of India, and as we have seen in the map also, that it is a narrow strip of land, very short land it is having, and it is between the Arabian Sea and the Western Ghats. Thousands of coconut trees are grown over there, because coconut trees are well grown in the places where the soil is having clay, more clay. So where there is a sea, there will be the more clay also, because sea brings with them a lot of clay soil. So that is good for the coconut trees. So coconut trees and coconut palms, these are the things which are very, very found in number in that particular Kerala state. And that's why it is also one of the reason that the people of Kerala use coconut oil for all the purposes, almost for all the purposes, for cooking, or for using it in their hair also, for using it in their body also. Coconut oil is used everywhere in Kerala. It is also famous for its beautiful beaches. Kerala, you can see over here, there is a photograph and an image regarding from one of the beach side, because it is near the Arabian Sea, and we have seen. So that is why it is quite famous for its beaches like Goa. A number of spices are also grown there, are also found. Spices, yani masala. It is also found in there. Cloves that I told you, that is long, that we use in cooking biryani and many dishes. Cardamoms also we use, elaichi, and pepper, that is mirch. And we also use these things. And these are the spices which are found in numbers. Means very large quantity. These type of spices are found. Coconut trees are found. Its spices attracted the traders, and the first to arrive were the Jews and the Arabs. And because of its spices, a lot of people from other countries were attracted towards, or they were attracted, they wanted to get the spices from Kerala. So a lot of people arrived in Kerala, and among them was the first one was the Jews, and later on the Arabs also. Jews and Arabs were the people, the community which traveled there, which reached there and start trading. Means they started purchasing buying cloves, cardamoms, and pepper and many other spices from Kerala. They started buying from Kerala and they were selling it in other countries, in their countries and in other countries also. That is known as trade, business. Kerala was visited by Saint Thomas, an apostle of Christ, means follower. So Saint Thomas was the follower of Jesus Christ, and he arrived in Kerala around 2000 years ago. He brought with him Christianity to Kerala. He brought the religion of Christianity in Kerala along with him 2000 years ago. So we can say that the religion Christianity will be there in Kerala till now also, because it was brought to Kerala 2000 years back. Many Arab traders also settled down in Kerala. Many of the traders who came from Saudi Arab, they settled in Kerala also. Means they married there, they made their home, they constructed their home, they started their family. Means they settled in Kerala only. And from Kerala, they were sending the spices to their country for selling, because they were having links in Saudi Arab also, and they were having links in Kerala also. So some of them settled in Kerala for lifetime, and they started trading by sitting at Kerala and sending or selling their spices from Kerala to their countries. And see, even Batuta, who visited Kerala 700 years ago, and he wrote a travelogue on Kerala. Even Batuta, he traveled to Kerala 700 years ago, and he wrote about the details of the travel. Means when he was traveling, he wrote all about the details, that how did he travel, how long did it took, which route he followed. All the details of his travel was written. That is known as travelogue. Travelogue means details of the traveling. So even that Batuta has written all about the details of his traveling to Kerala. He described, who described over here? Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta described the lives of the Muslims and how well respected they were in the state. Means he wrote that the Muslims were quite respected in Kerala at that time. He described even the life of the Muslim, how the Muslims were living their life, how they were living staying in the Kerala. Means what were the activities of the Muslims, all about he written about the Muslims, he wrote. Vasco da Gama, another traveler, he is also a traveler, and he traveled to Kerala from Portuguese. He discovered the sea route to India. Vasco da Gama got the sea route, found out the sea route to India. Vasco da Gama, he was a Portuguese sailor, and he found out sea route, यानी समुंदर के जरिए इंडिया कैसे पहुंचेंगे, ये रूट किसने बताया था? वास्को डा गामा. He found out the route to reach India via sea from Europe. यूरोप से लोग इंडिया कैसे पहुंचेंगे with the help of sea, that was found out by Vasco da Gama. And who was he? He was a Portuguese sailor, means he was from Portugal. He landed to Kochi, you can name it. He landed to Kochikode, that is Calicut. Nowadays it is known as Calicut, in AD 1498. You can see it is also along almost 700, 600, more than 600 years ago. He traveled to India and he found out the sea route. So we got information about two people, Ibn Battuta and Vasco da Gama. They traveled and they wrote a lot of details. Now you can see over here that there is a boat race is going on Kerala. It is a very, very famous race in Kerala, and they used to celebrate it by doing competition. Boat race competition used to held every year during the festival. So let us see more details about the boat race of Kerala when they were organizing this type of race. See here, there is one you can see also over here, Chinese fishing nets, that I told you, because Kerala is quite close to Arabian Sea. It is just, it has boundaries with the Arabian Sea. So people of Kerala used to do a lot of fishing, and this is one of the, you can see, fishing net that they have brought from China, that is Chinese fishing net. Means this is a net for catching the fishes. In Kerala, the people of different religions People of different religions live peacefully in Kerala. Means not only the Christians, not only the Hindus, but Hindus, Muslim, Christians, Sikhs, everyone live there. People of every religion are found there, and they are living peacefully like brother and sisters. Everyone is living there like brothers and sisters, and they are enjoying their life. They are not fighting. The Hindus, Christians, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists have ethnic diversity. It means they are all having their own different type of diversity, unique type of changes. Or you might say that they might be having different or changes in their fooding habit, in their dressing habit. So everyone is having its own story, but still the unity is there. You can see in your class also, if you will remember that your friends are from different religion, even they are from different caste also. Even then, the whole class are united. They study together, you all eat together during the lunch time, you all play together, you all enjoy each and every one festival together. And you used to say to your colleague, to your friends, Eid Mubarak. Someone tell you Holi Mubarak, है ना? Happy Holi, they used to say. Someone say happy Eid, and someone used to say to their friend, and many happy returns of the day. In their birthday also, they used to celebrate birthday also together. So likewise, the people in India, not only in Kerala, throughout India, the people in India are living peacefully along with each other. Onam is the main festival of Kerala, celebrated by all. You can see, Onam is the festival not for Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Jews. It is not especially for anyone. It is the festival for everyone. And everyone used to celebrate this festival in Kerala. What is the name of the festival? Onam. Right? Try to remember. Onam is the main festival of Kerala, which is celebrated by the people of all the religions. Christmas, Eid, Vishu, another festival, are all other religious festivals, which are also celebrated by each and every one of them together. Like we celebrate in Bihar, and people used to celebrate in other parts of India. We all celebrate others' religion also, by getting united together. During Onam, the snake boat races are held in the backwaters of Alappuzha. That is the name of the river. That is the name of the place. So during Onam, this type of boat racing they used to have. During the festival of Onam, they used to organize competition of boat race. And these boat are made like the snake. You can see over here. So that's why it is called snake boat race. You can see over here they have written that snake boat race are held during the festival of Onam. They are a great tourist attraction. A lot of people from other parts of India and from other parts of the world used to visit Kerala during Onam festival to see this particular boat race. So it is a great attraction for all the people of the world, not only India. See the women, how do you they used to celebrate? They are making something over there in the festival in Onam, है ना? In the festival of Onam. Now fishing is there. Flourishing industry, यानी एक ऐसा इंडस्ट्री है जो हमेशा बढ़ रहा है, that is growing. Flourishing means growing industry. Fishing is a growing industry, and I told you the reason, because Kerala is quite closest to the sea coast seacoast area, or you can say Arabian Sea. That's why fishing is the growing industry there. And Chinese influence is also really visible there. Chinese influence means people used to use Chinese products. As I have shown you that people are using Chinese fishing nets. So they use a lot of things from China. Fishing nets are called China wala. China wala means China. China means China. So China wala. Fishing nets are from China wala. And fry pan, China chatti. China chatti means China chatti. And these are the fry pan that they were using for cooking purpose. So people of Kerala use a lot of things brought there from China. People grow and eat rice. As I told you, that where there is a plenty of water, where there is a sea, Then the soil is having a lot of clay, so that is quite good for the production or growing of rice. So people grow a lot of rice there, they grow vegetables, and of course they also have fishes, fish, they have rubber, that is top, yeah, that is the name of thing, tapioca, coffee. These are all eatables. Coffee are also grown as cash crops. Cash crops are those crops which they use to sell and earn money, and get cash. That's why it is known as cash crops. So these are the cash crops. Coffee, coffee is one of the cash crops that they used to grow in Kerala, and they used to sell it throughout India and throughout the world also. So, what may be the staple diet, daily diet or daily food of the people of Kerala? They might be eating daily rice and fish, because that is grown and found very easily in Kerala. Rice and fish. Fish they can found in the sea, and rice they are growing because of the good soil and having clay. So rice and fish may be the very good food for the people of Kerala. Now, what about the dance? Kathakali is the classical dance of Kerala. That is world famous Kathakali dance. You might have seen these dance in many times in movies and even in reality shows also. You know? So Kathakali is a very famous and classical dance of Kerala that is famous throughout the world. Mohi Niyattam, that is also another type of classical dance of Kerala that is also very famous. Mohi Niyattam. And Kalari Payattu is a famous martial art. That is one famous martial art. That is the way of defending and attacking someone. So Kalari Payattu is a famous martial art from of Kerala. The religious and cultural festivals of Kerala show the variety of life in the states. The religious life, the cultural life of people of Kerala shows a lot of variety. Different type of people used to celebrate different type of festivals in their different ways, but still they live together. Let us get more details about Kerala. That Kathakali dancer, you can say a Kathakali dance that is in the form you can see in the image. Even Mohiniyattam dancer, you can see this type of dancing is known as Mohiniyattam dancer. Even the women of Kerala, you can see they are in traditional dress. I think that is a really very good dress. They are not following any Western dresses, they are not showing off anything. They are really quite good women having good traditional dress and a very good dress for the women. So that is all from Kerala side. Now let us start studying about Ladakh that I showed you in the map also, the map of India. Where is Ladakh? Ladakh, you can see it is on the north, and you can see that it is the eastern part of Jammu and Kashmir. Previously there was only Jammu and Kashmir, but now divided into Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir. So Ladakh is divided into two districts. We are having a lot of districts in Bihar. Gaya is also one of the district. Patna is also one of the district. Likewise, Leh and Kargil are the two districts of Ladakh. And Leh is the capital of Ladakh also. Try to remember the name of the capital. The name of the capital of Ladakh is Leh. And there are only two districts, because it is not a very big state. So there is only two districts in Ladakh. And those two districts are Leh and Kargil. I think that you might be remembering the name of the Kargil, Kargil war. Indian soldiers won the war in Kargil. You might have heard. So Leh and Kargil. Okay, so Ladakh is surrounded by mountains from all the sides. The Karakoram in the north, Karakoram mountain, the Great Himalaya in the south, and two other parallel chains of mountains, the Ladakh range and the Janskar range. So everywhere you can see Ladakh is surrounded by mountains and mountain ranges. Ladakh range and the Janskar range, and by other Great Himalaya in the south and Karakoram in the north, that I showed you in the map also. You can see how beautiful is Ladakh. And let me zoom it more for you all so that you can see, have a look at the scenery of Ladakh. Ladakh, you can see, has a beautiful landscape, and lands are very beautiful and surrounded. You can see surrounded by very beautiful mountains over there. You can see Ladakh. Okay, let us see. Let me zoom in again. Zoom out. let me get more details. It hardly receives any rain, so it's very bad for Ladakh that they do not receive rain, and is covered by snow for most part of the year, and the whole Ladakh is covered by snow throughout the year. Agriculture is almost impossible there. So if they do not get any rain, then how would they do the agriculture? So it is almost impossible in Ladakh that they will be doing any agriculture work. For drinking, even people struggle for drinking water, because there is, if there is no rain, then how would they get water? The rain is the main source of water. So because the snow, there are snow everywhere, so the people used to depend or wait for melting of the snow, है ना? जब वो snow पिघल जाएगा, then it will be converted into water. So the people have to depend on the melting of snows. They will have to wait for the summer season. Summer season आएगा, then the snow will melt due to the heat of the sun, and then they will get water. So what they do, they used to preserve water. जो भी उनको water मिलता है summer season में, they used to preserve it. Okay, let us see. People, they used to rear sheep, means वो लोग sheep को पालना पसंद करते हैं as a domestic animal. They used to rear sheep. Sheep are special and they produce pashmina wool. We get wool from sheep, and the wool of Ladakh are very famous and known as pashmina. आपने सुना होगा बहुत दफा pashmina shawl, pashmina wool का बना हुआ कपड़ा. They are very famous and costly throughout the country, throughout the world. This wool is very expensive. ये wool बहुत महंगा होता है. So the people of Ladakh used to rear sheep. Rear मतलब वो पालते हैं sheep को इसीलिए, so that they can get the wool, which is very expensive. And after selling the wool, they can earn a lot of money, and they can purchase the food items or the items which they require. Ladakhis sell this wool to traders from Kashmir, है ना? कश्मीर से बहुत सारे traders आते हैं, and they used to purchase this wool from the Ladakhis. Ladakh people. Pashmina shawl are mostly made in Kashmir, है ना? Pashmina shawl कहाँ बनता है? कश्मीर में. So the people of Kashmir, the trader of Kashmir, come to Ladakh. They used to go to Ladakh, buy the wool, and they go back with the wool to the Kashmir, and there they start preparing or manufacturing Kashmiri shawl, Pashmina shawl. The people eat meat, है ना? वहाँ के लोग गोश्त खाते हैं, and they used to, the people eat meat as well as milk products, है ना? They used to eat meat और milk products वो लोग खाते हैं, जैसे cheese, butter, what they get from the goat and the sheep, है ना? If they get the milk from the sheep or the goat or the cows or the yak cows, that is known as the zows, though, so they get a lot of milk, and from milk they make a lot of milk items, है ना? A lot of items made up of milk like cheese, butter. And sheep they rear, and they also get a lot of milk from the sheep also. The sheep used to provide them two things. Number one, the sheep used to provide them wool, and they used to provide them milk also. You can see the people of Ladakh, how are they looking? Let me show you the people of Ladakh. You can see. So Ladakh is almost desert because there is no rain, so it is like a desert. But it attracted traders of its high passes because it is at very high. It is at the highest point of India. You can see at the north. So people used to visit there. Traders used to go there. They used to rest there, and they used to travel. They have found trade routes to Central Asia. They used to move to the other Asian countries from there, because they can reach to the other countries of Asia very easily from that particular point. So a lot of travelers, or you can say traders, used to pass through Ladakh to enter into the other Asian countries, like China. Like other Asian countries, they used to go to China and bring a lot of things from China at cheaper cost, and they used to sell it in Ladakh and other parts of India also. So that is why I'm saying over here that Ladakh attract a lot of traders, है ना? बहुत सारे trader businessmen वो वहां से लद्दाख से होते हुए चाइना और दूसरे कंट्रीज जाते हैं, and they used to buy things from China and sell it in India. caravans passed, caravans यानी group of people है ना, वो they used to pass from Ladakh to Tibet, लद्दाख से होते हुए तिब्बत जाते हैं वो लोग, and they carry textiles है ना, clothes है ना, they carry spices, raw silk, and carpets है ना, silk worm से silk मिलता है, we all know. Though, so these traders used to carry silk, raw silk means silk direct लेके जाते हैं, they do not make it into or turn it into silk cloth or silk, any other products of silk. They carry the silk, raw silk from them. Even they carry carpets also with them to sell to other parts of the Asian countries. Ladakh was also called Little Tibet. Ladakh को एक Little Tibet भी बोला जाता है. Now let us see why. It is because it is a Buddhist land and has great cultural affinity with Tibet. Affinity means close relationship with Tibet. Tibet is also another country where most of the people are Buddhists. So Ladakh is also called Little Tibet because a lot of people living in Ladakh follow the religion of Buddhism. So they are, a lot of people in Ladakh are Buddhist. Buddhism reached Tibet through it. You can see over there that Tibet में Buddhism जो आया है वो लद्दाख से होते हुए आया है. So you might find a lot of Buddhism people in Ladakh also. It is a land of monasteries. Monasteries means gompas or the temple for the Buddhism, for the Buddhists. So बहुत सारे आपको Buddhist temple वहाँ मिलेंगे लद्दाख में. The paintings in the monasteries है ना, monasteries में बहुत सारे paintings यानी वो temples में है ना, Buddhist के temples में you will find a lot of paintings there decorated in the wall with the images of various aspects of Buddhism. Buddhism से related बहुत सारे images मिलेंगे. Means you will find the image of Gautam Buddha, even the images of his followers, of his activities. You will find a lot of things or images in the temples or the monasteries of Buddhist people. The main theme of the Ladakh traditional theatre is stories based on the life of Buddha. Means the theatre where they used to go and watch cinema or drama is mainly based on the life of Buddha. Means a lot of stories are based on the life of Buddha, in which they used to display with the help of theater or drama in theater. है ना, तो वहाँ जो भी ड्रामा थिएटर वगैरह में होते हैं that are strictly based, or you can say purely based on the life of Buddha. Most of the, some of the most famous fairs and festival of Ladakh. Ladakh में क्या famous है जरा देखते हैं. Let us see. Losar celebrated as their new year. So वहाँ का new year कौन सा है? Losar is the celebrated as the new year of Ladakh. Losar. Shrey Shukla is the harvest festival where they used to harvest, है ना? Means cut down the crops, whatever crops they used to grow over there. Means as we have discussed that agriculture is quite impossible there, but still they might be growing few crops, है ना? थोड़े crops होते होंगे. So Shrey Shukla is the harvest festival. तो ये festival है, that is name of the festival, which is especially famous for harvest. बिगर समर फेस्टिवल, समर सीजन में बहुत अच्छा फेस्टिवल होता है, दैट इज नोन एज हेमिस चेशु. दैट इज द समर फेस्टिवल because in summer, you know, the snow melts and they get a lot of water, so they are enjoying the festival known as Hemis Cheshu. Local version of the Tibetan national epic Kesar Saga are sung. So Kesar Saga is one of the song, you can say national song of the Ladakh is what? Kesar Saga. That is the very famous song there, and it is sung by both Muslims and Buddhists. So Muslim people are also living in Ladakh and Buddhists are also living in Ladakh, but Buddhists and Muslims live there together happily, peacefully, and they used to sing this particular Kesar Saga song also. So that is all from Ladakh side. There are few more details. Let us see. A monastery, you can see this is a type of monastery, that is the Buddhist temple, you can see where they used to go and pray. It is an interesting fact that many of the annual festival of Ladakh take in winter. ज्यादातर festivals कब होते हैं? Winter season में. Lamas dressed in colorful dresses and wearing masks perform here. Lamas means that they used to, this is a type of animal, so they used to have colorful dresses on that, and they used to wear masks also. Long horns, camels, music, colorful musical performance, a lot of thing goes in that particular festival, है ना? Ladakh में ये festivals में they used to enjoy all these things, है ना? Colorful musical performance are there, so they attract a lot of people from other parts of the country also. It is a very interesting annual festival of Ladakh. And many of the annual festivals of Ladakh take place only in winter because the uh, conditions, the climate are very good during winter. Lamas dressed in colorful dresses. People also dressed in colorful dresses, and they wear masks on their faces. And they used to sing songs. They used to wear colorful dresses. They used to have musical performances, which a lot of people enjoy at that particular time. So that is all from today in my class. Hope that you have liked the video, and we will meet again in our next video release of the tutorial. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get the information of the next release of the tutorial. Please share it with your friends and others also. Thank you for the time being. Take care. Stay at home. Bye bye. Take care.